EA thinks linear single-player games are no longer popular. Yeah, as if I would take EA's opinion on the video game industry seriously. Don't you remember the release of Battlefront 2 2017? It still baffles me how someone is able to f**k up the release of anything related to Star Wars that bad. And even more when it is a remake of the critically acclaimed Battlefront 2, arguably one of, if not the best Star Wars game of all time. Well, one of. EA's ideology on video games is poison for the industry. If it doesn't have microtransactions, do not make it. It's not going to be profitable.
Is this good for the player?
Their greediness got to the point where EA shut off Visceral Games, the studio behind the Dead Space franchise. At the time, Visceral Games was working on a single-player Star Wars game, codenamed Ragtag. You cannot really monetize single-player games. Shadow of Mordor tried, and look how the fans responded. It was pretty bad. Knowing that they wouldn't be able to multiply their investment by the hundreds and thousands, EA axed the project and shut down Visceral Games, a crime that I will never forget. According to EA, the main reason for this was that linear single-player games are no longer as popular as they once were in the past. Yet, it's funny how only 2 years later, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a linear single-player game, releases and is a massive success among fans. This gets to show you how out of touch EA is with the video game industry as a whole. And while they are not the only perpetrators of this sin, at least other publishers and companies do not go around talking shit about something that they do not clearly understand.
Is this good for the player?
Single-player games are not dead. In this point in time, they are bigger than ever. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Ghosts of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, The Last of Us, Elden Ring, Doom Eternal. All of them are single player, and their release was nothing but a pure success. Well, for the exception of Elden Ring, but for the past few years, the gaming industry has been on a slow decline. Pretty much all AAA releases are early access live service games with some type of battle pass system or overly intrusive monetization practices. The gaming industry is at an all-time high in terms of profit, but on an all-time low in terms of soul. It's just not the same as it was in the past. Whether that's an illusion or not, all the cool stuff on any AAA release is hidden behind a paywall, and it's not even that cool to begin with, at least not to the level of paying $10 for it. But not everyone is like that. Time to time, something special will come out. A game crafted with love and care. A video game with an actual soul. Whether it being recovering your honor, bonding with your son, changing fate, or killing the demons from hell, every once in a while, a game that challenges the modern practices of today's industry will emerge. Now, I'm not saying that games like Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, PUBG, etc. are bad. Of course not. If you like those games, fantastic man, good luck, have fun. But we cannot deny that Fortnite is basically a big fucking ad. Terminator, Predator, Alien, and now Street Fighter. Fortnite is incentivizing horny 14-year-olds to use their mom's credit card to buy Chum-Li, or that Activision uses all of their resources on figuring out ways to monetize their game even more. We do not care if the game is broken. The in-game store needs to be perfectly functional on launch day. Do it or you are fired. Quantity over quality, basically. A former id Software employee confirmed that by December of 2020, Doom Eternal had made over $450 million in profit. For a single-player game that doesn't have a monetization system other than a DLC pass, that is a lot. At the very least, the game has sold over 7 million copies worldwide. Now, this is in no way surprising. There are other franchises that have sold way more in the past, but for a single single-player game to sell that many copies, not even 1 year its lifetime, especially in 2020, where pretty much everyone is stuck grinding a battle royale. Now that is impressive, at least in my eyes. If ZeniMax, now Microsoft, shareholders had any doubts on continuing the Doom franchise, well, I guess their doubts have been dealt with. But Midnight, Doom Eternal is not exclusively a single-player game. You forgot about battle mode. You are right, Doom Eternal has battle mode, and eventually invasion mode. But let's be honest, if you bought Doom Eternal, it was because of the single player, not because of the multiplayer. You could even argue that it has a battle pass system, which it does. But you see, all of this is entirely for free. No microtransactions and no content hidden behind a paywall. You get what you paid for. Doom Eternal managed to generate almost $500 million in its first 9 months of lifetime without the use of microtransactions. If that doesn't speak leaks on how good this game is, then I don't know what will. Doom Eternal, besides games like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, etc., is a middle finger to games as a service and to the modern video game industry as a whole. It sends a message. Single player games are not dead. Your game doesn't need to be filled with microtransactions to make a profit. Fans of the franchise agree with this sentiment, with this comment encapsulating everything perfectly. By Tom Edward Evans. At a time where corporations are destroying good art, id Software continued to be amazing. Play the Doom 2016 on release. Breath of fresh air. Love letter to the fans. Eternal is an incredible successor, made with passion, full of content, rich gameplay and awesome soundtrack, ripped and teared for hours and ongoing. You see, EA, you do not need microtransactions for your game to be awesome and profitable. Just make a good game. If the game is good, the fans will buy it. As easy as that. Thanks for watching.
We got it, sir!
Good. That's one less loose end.
Special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, and a huge thank you to all of my chat slayers. Creamy Dude, Sane Hanthorn, General Clipto, Unknown User Zero, Toxic Death, Awesome Bra, and Florian Hablo. Thank you so much for supporting me on my Patreon page. Guys, if you're a fan of my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. Link is going to be down below. Do you know how many followers do I have on Twitter? No, it's nowhere near the amount I have on YouTube. Nowhere near. So yeah, we need to do something about it, so be sure to follow me on my Twitter page as well. All the links are going to be down below. And so okay, Sputtins, please let me know what do you think about this video down in the comments section. Leave a like if you did and a dislike if you disliked it. It is completely fine, my brother. If you didn't like it, dislike right now. Be sure to follow me on all of my socials, links are going to be down below. And yeah, this video was fun to make. I liked it, so please give me your feedback down below. And so okay, have a nice Tuesday, stay awesome, stay safe, adios my Sputtins, I love you, bye, adios.